This is LibreQuest. My name is Matt. It is the 9th of October, 2019. And the first article that I have today from Softpedia News, an article written by Marius Nestor. This was posted on October 9, 2019. Ubuntu Touch OTA 11 now available for testing with improved, smarter keyboard. The UBports community announced today the availability for public testing of the upcoming Ubuntu Touch OTA 11 software update for all supported Ubuntu phone devices. Originally planned as a small update that was supposed to contain only some bug fixes and improvements, the Ubuntu Touch OTA 11 release appears to bring quite some enhancements for Ubuntu phones, such as much improved and smarter keyboard that introduces a Dvorak keyboard layout option, improvements to the Japanese and Polish layouts, as well as a new way to edit text. Using this feature can move around your typed text, undo and redo actions, move around a text selection rectangle, and use the cut, copy, and paste commands, all from the same overlay. To get started, press and hold the spacebar, explained UBports. We are still unsure about the discoverability of this feature, so stay tuned for changes that will make it even easier to find and use. Looks like they've also got some browser improvements. It says here that the Morph browser, which was made specifically for the Ubuntu Touch mobile operating system, got some enhancements in the OTA 11 software update. And it says there are page zoom and level per site, which can be saved, the ability to set always allow or always deny on location access per site, the ability to blacklist access to certain sites, and support for sites to launch apps via custom URL handlers like tell for launch the dialer. And that's pretty handy, because you kind of expect your phone to be able to do that when you search for something you want to call them. You should just be able to click on the number and it launch your dialer. So that's a much needed update. So it's pretty exciting to see that Ubuntu Touch or UBports are doing some updates. That's very cool. This next article is from datacenterknowledge.com, posted by Christine Hall, October 9, 2019. Google keeping Knative development under its thumb for the foreseeable future. In addition to Knative, which is for deploying serverless workloads, Google evidently plans to keep the Kubernetes service mesh Istio in-house. It appears that at least one major Kubernetes-related open-source project, Knative, isn't destined to join its mother project at the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. Indeed, it's not destined to join any foundation, according to an email sent last week to Knative developers by Donna Malieri, a project manager at Google and a member of Knative's steering committee. Google won't be relinquishing control of the project anytime soon, if ever. Knative is a promising but not yet ready for prime time Kubernetes-based platform for building, deploying, and managing modern serverless workloads. Since the start of the Knative project, there have been questions about whether Knative would be donated to a foundation such as CNCF, Malieri wrote, indicating in the signature line that she was writing on behalf of Google. Google leadership has considered this and has decided not to donate Knative to any foundation for the foreseeable future. So if you're interested in reading more about that, that is over on datacenterknowledge.com. And the next article is about an SBC. The RK3328 based industrial SBC eases Raspbian porting. NovaSong's new M7 Plus version of its Pi-like RK3328 based SBC M7 board adds RS485, power over USB, an FPC connector for HDMI, and a library that lets Pi users recompile Raspbian apps for use with its industrial RaspMood stack. In February, NovaSong Industries launched its Linux-powered Rockchip RK3328-based SBC M7 single-board computer, which NovaSong now calls the NovaSong M7, along with an SBC M8 board based on a Snapdragon 410E. Now, NovaSong has followed customer feedback to upgrade the somewhat Raspberry Pi-like NovaSong M7 with a NovaSong M7 Plus. This provides a variety of hardware and software improvements. The NovaSong M7 Plus has added 5-volt power input, support for its USB 3.0 host port, although you can still use the 12-volt DC port instead. NovaSong has also added a stronger backlight driver and has upscaled to 6 amps at 5 volts, backlight support for a brighter connected display. The NovaSong M7 has added USB ports to the J3 connector and has added a new RS-485 serial interface. A new FPC cable connector for the HDMI port is said to make it easier to integrate with other equipment, such as NovaSong's optional, fully assembled Nova PC configurations of its SBC with displays and other accessories. So that's awesome. It's always good to see. Very cool. So today on the podcast, I really just wanted to talk about the peripherals that I'm going to be using on my current project, which I've talked a whole lot about. So I'm probably not going to do another podcast where I talk about this build that I'm working on until it's actually completed. But I wanted to, because I'm excited about it, I wanted to talk about the peripherals that I'm using and why I'm using them, because they're kind of sentimental in a way. I've got a lot of memories using these different peripherals, and to be able to find them in working condition, although not in clean condition, they're kind of they're all kind of very dirty and need to be cleaned. They've got a lot of years and years worth of gunk build up on them, and so they'll have to be thoroughly cleaned inside the devices and outside, because if a device has been stored for a long amount of time, you're guaranteed that there's going to be dust, and possibly if liquids have ever been spilled on them, there might be other things in there that would make operating the device for an extended period of time other than testing could possibly kill the device. So that's one thing to consider when buying something used like I have. So the first peripheral rather, is the Dell Quiet Key, and it's the model SK8000. It is PS2. It was released in 1999, and it uses a rubber sheet of pressure domes. And one thing about this keyboard, other than it being disgustingly dirty, is it has the Windows 98 logo on the Windows key, which I thought was kind of cool. And then a rebranded, or rather compact branded, Logitech mouse, released in 99 as well. It is a PS2 with a scroll, and it uses a ball, not optical like most devices these days. Also, on both the keyboard and the mouse, on the PS2 connector, they are the traditional purple for keyboard and green for the mouse, which is cool. So on the monitor, it is a 15-inch, GEM is the brand, GEM. It's 15-inch 1024 by 768 monitor, and it only has a VGA input. Now, this is the newest peripheral or device. It's from 2001. But the one that I'm most excited about is the Creative SBS20 powered speakers. They are desktop monitors. The ones I got are very dirty. They've been, well, they're very yellowed as well, but they've been banged up a little bit, and they're going to need a little bit of repair. Now, these speakers were released in 1999 as well, so the majority of the peripherals that I got are from 99. And so, I mean, that's kind of cool, because most of this stuff, I've got a lot of memories attached to these devices, and so it's exciting for that reason to have these again. And it's kind of weird when you have something, it's hard to remember what in the world you did with it. It's like, I had these speakers before, I don't know what I did with it. And I probably at some point just sold them because I didn't need them anymore, or whatever. You just never know. But it's always exciting to like get something that you've used in the past, and you've got all these kind of memories and stuff attached to those devices. And I know that sounds weird, but unless you're a nerd like me, then it sounds totally legit. So, but these speakers are so cool because I remember just how amazing they sound, and it's going to just be so cool to play some of the games from that era and some of the games that I was playing at the time on a CRT display with those speakers on that kind of a keyboard. I spent many hours at work using a keyboard similar to those. So just very exciting. Like I said, I'm not going to do another podcast about this topic for a while because I really want to get the system built and completed. But If you have experience using any of these devices that I listed, you probably understand why I was excited to talk about it. But that'll do it for today. Kind of a short podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me. You can get the podcast over on archive.org. You can get the video version on YouTube, and you can get both of them over on LibreQuest.org. So thank you very much, and I will be back tomorrow. I had tested some software, was what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. I tested some software, and I'll just say this: it was disappointing, but I'll cover it in the show tomorrow. And yeah, so join me back then if you would like, and I'll see you next time.